Epic Gen Table Talk. In today's episode, we'll be exploring the world of audio drama podcasts, where sound paints the picture and your imagination takes flight. So whether you're into comedy, romance, drama, mystery, this episode is sure to have you hooked. So get comfy as we journey through the world of audio drama. Finally over, and that means it's time for summer fun. Woo! Yes. Oh, we had some 2024 graduates this year, so let's give a round of applause for all of those graduates. And we even have a graduate in the house today, Tristan. How does it feel?
Congrats.
So fun. We had a whole grad party. I was nominated for the Music Drama Award. I got the Drama Award. And then I got an honor roll, honor society, that type of stuff.
Wow.
I really want the French award, guys. I didn't win it, but that's okay. They said I was next up.
You're an academic weapon.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
So today's episode is about audio drama podcasts. Have you guys ever listened to any podcasts before?
Yeah, I love podcasts. Recently, I've been listening to The Broski Report by Brittany Broski. She's so funny.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I love her so much. Yeah, and then I also listened to Emma Chamberlain's podcast. I completely forgot what it's called, but she's also super helpful. She's a self-help podcast. And then there's also Bite My Tongue by Nylea Devora. Love her. Yeah.
I didn't know she had a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, what about you, Gloria?
I listen, okay, so if you've ever met me in like real life, like I'm a total nerd. Like I love D&D, I love Pokemon, I love all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And the same friend who introduced me to D&D also introduced me to this podcast called The Magnum Archives. It is like a total supernatural vibe. Like it takes all these fears and kind of like gives them like a presence, and it's like absolutely what I need after a long day of like school. It is my favorite way of relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did listen to this one starting in grade 6 called Smash Boom Best. It's like a debate and a science fiction. They have things about all the fun facts in the world, and then they have debates on like which team. I did this really fun one. It was like unicorns versus dragons.
Don't look at me. I don't listen to podcasts.
Excuse me.
Guys, I have the attention span of a goldfish. Me personally, I'm also like I'm a very visual person. If I don't have that visual stuff in front of me, my interest goes out the window, unless it's music. Mm-hmm. But we're going to be talking about audio drama podcasts, right? So it's kind of like, it's like a podcast, but it's like movies with actors, musics, and sound effects that bring the story to life.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we listen to movie clips and then we try to guess the kind of movie it is?
Sure.
Sound a little more invested.
Sure! Yeah. Okay, let's roll the first one.
Okay, music.
Okay. It's giving YouTube intro.
When I have a crush so intense that I don't know what to do. Rereading my letters reminds me of how powerful my
Oh, I
emotions
know
can
this
be.
one.
What's it?
All-consuming.
It's To All the Boys I've Loved Before. That's Lara Jean Covey talking about how. That's Lara Jean talking about how she writes letters because she has no love life, and that's honestly super real. So, and then the premise of the story is basically like her letters get out, and then chaos ensures. But she gets a boyfriend out of it, so it's fine.
Oh my god, I've seen that movie. How did I not get that?
Right? I feel like it just went by so fast. I did not pick it up, even though I've watched that so many times.
Well, I've heard of it, but I've never gotten to watch it yet.
Why?
So good.
Why? Okay, let's roll the next one.
Sounds busy.
It's being said. I can't tell if it's a gunshot or a door knocking.
I think it's a door knock because he said,
Yeah,
is he
it's a door
asleep?
knock.
Sorry about him. He doesn't understand what it's
That's Harry Potter.
lying in bed day after
That's so impressive. You guys feel like I heard the banging. That was the only thing that I could hear.
Yeah.
Like some of the words might have been garbled, but I definitely got that sense of like, come on, like wake up, like what are you doing?
Yeah, that was like Dudley, I think. The
Wasn't that like the one with like the snake in the zoo?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very British. I could hear the British.
Okay, let's roll the next one.
Okay, this is scary. No, I don't like this.
Since the beginning of time, since the first little girl
This is Barbie.
ever existed, there have
How do you know everything?
This
Sophie.
This is Barbie. This is the opening monologue when Barbie was first like found. I could see Margot Robbie in her iconic like swimsuit and just with her, and then the dolls, and then there's.
This is scary. You're like scaring me. Like, you know,
all I
like,
do is
you
watch
know the
movies.
whole catalog.
It's like introducing, like at the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah, in the very
It's like
beginning.
they're showing all the scenes about how she was like made.
Yeah.
Was it like the different times?
Yeah, the different times.
Like
and-
the different types of Barbies?
Yeah.
So like she was a swimsuit. She was like a doctor. There's so many different ones. Yeah.
No, I feel like all these movies, like I know, but I just wouldn't recognize it by the clips being played.
Okay, so just for the next one, even if you don't know the movie, to paint what was your imagination when you were hearing the sounds.
Okay, next one.
That's gorgeous. Oh my god.
I know it.
That's very.
It gave me like chills up my spine. It's really gorgeous instrumental that gives you like.
time in the hidden heart of France, a handsome young prince lived in a beautiful castle.
So it's like a storybook type, like Cinderella.
Although he had everything his
story,
heart
fairy tale?
desired, the prince was selfish and unkind.
Oh, Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, this is like the opening monologue. Yeah, you can hear.
Like you can hear the like feeling.
You can you can hear the feelings.
And it
You
feels
can
like a
feel
storybook,
the
just like he
royalty
said.
and how.
I knew it was Disney. I was like,
It's all
it's Disney.
so
It's
Disney.
like, which one is it?
Oh yeah, it's like which one?
Yeah.
You could hear the fairy tale like humming like with the music. Every time they compose music like that, it's like you know it's gonna be a Disney fairy tale. You know it's gonna be like,
I can feel like,
Like the
I can
spark.
feel like the camera like zooming
Yeah.
in onto the main thing.
Oh.
like the
I feel like I
ballroom.
can feel the palace with them like dancing, but that's not the scene. That's just what I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can almost imagine it just royalty dancing in the ballroom under candlelight.
All right.
The best.
Let's roll the last one.
I'd never given much thought to how I would die.
Oh.
It's Twilight. So this is, she sounds very sad, sort of,
But
very
dying
much.
in the face of someone I love.
I can hear the sadness.
Suffer in silence type. That's actually what she says in the movie. That's something that she says.
You
That
can
she's,
hear it in her voice.
yeah, you can hear it. She's
You can feel
sad.
the pain, and even in the music too, like you can hear these notes that are
like
played
going
very solemnly. So yeah.
That
Okay.
sounds scary though. Like it sounds like thunder.
It is scary, but
I feel like
think
I can
that's-
picture raining, but like the sorrow.
I think that's like the imagery they were going for. You know?
Dark sky.
Like the rainy night in Forks, and the vampires.
Okay, well, this is awesome. We're getting like a little taste of what audio drama podcasts are like. I feel like it's so different without seeing it. Because personally, without seeing it, I had absolutely no idea what any of those were. But Sophie did.
It's just years and years of watching movies.
All right, well, let's pause for a little break and we'll talk some more about audio drama podcasts with a special guest after this.
Our special guest is a queer Pinay writer, artist, and animator who's bringing Filipino and LGBTQ+ themed stories to global audiences, primarily through genre stories such as fantasy, sci-fi, horror, and romance, often all at once. She's best known as the creator of supernatural horror audio drama, the High Nai podcast. Please welcome Motzie Dapul. We're so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Oh.
This is awesome.
So, as you may know, like you are a creator of a really popular audio drama. However, we do want to inform our audiences since they may not know what an audio drama is. So, could you please explain to us what an audio drama is, and is it becoming more popular as a storytelling medium?
Definitely. Audio drama is basically just podcasting, except it has a story. So it could be anything from just somebody telling a story on their own in their room, or it could be a full production, like basically a full composed production with paid actors and all that. So it ranges from something as small as that to something as big as that. And it has become very popular. One of the examples that I like to bring forward to its popularity is something that you actually mentioned earlier, which is the Magnus Archives. And the reason we know how popular it is because in their last, when they wanted to fundraise for a new season, they got, what was it, $700,000.
There is a lot.
Yeah, so there is definitely, it's still a niche, like it's still definitely a niche, but it's this very big, like growing medium with a lot of really amazing storytellers doing work in that space.
So it's basically like a movie, but in your ears.
Yeah, kind of like that.
You can picture things a lot easier than regular podcasts. Mm-hmm. Also, want to mention, there's a lot of really cool comics here. They look really interesting. I know you're also a 2D animator, right?
Mm-hmm, that's correct.
Can you tell us more about your work and how you got into it?
Sure, yeah. So in terms of being a 2D animator, I went to college for animation. So I actually did the program and everything. And after I went to college, I got into, very luckily, my first 2D animation job back in the Philippines, because I actually moved here in 2018. As an animator, I worked for about 3.5 years in the Philippines. We worked on big shows like My Little Pony, and things like that. Yeah, pretty big shows. A lot of people don't know that a lot of that is animated in the Philippines. So there are a lot of amazing animators in the Philippines.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, right? So yeah, and it's great. We do a lot of Netflix shows as well. Another show that I did that's actually coming out on Netflix this month is a show called Exploding Kittens.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, exactly. Based on the card game. Although I will say this one's for adults, so just a disclaimer. I worked on that here, so I've been doing 2D animation in the Philippines and here in Canada. And also for the comics, while I was doing animation, I wanted to do something that was my story, because as an animator, I don't necessarily write the stories, I don't, do any of that. So I wanted to make something that was my story, and I want to share with other people. So the comics here, 3 of them are anthologies, which I worked on with other artists. And the 4th one is a comic that I collaborated, but it's still a one-shot story. So just a lot of stuff where I wanted to show my creativity, and I did that through comics and audio drama.
I have a question. So what does being queer mean to you? And what advice do you have for those who are exploring their LGBTQIA+ identities, and how the viewers can support those people?
Being queer to me, I think, is interesting because it's just always been part of my life. I think as part of my friends were queer. I have a brother who is gay. My sibling is also queer. So in that way, it's something that I never went without, even though when I grew up it was not as well known as it is now. But in terms of for younger people who are still trying to explore, I would say it's, don't pressure yourself too much. You can change your mind, and that's not a bad thing. Like you don't have to make every decision like when you are young. You can make decisions and then later be like, well, that's not really for me, or I've changed as a person, and that's totally fine. I used to be bi, and now I'm pan, and while there's not too big a difference, there was a difference enough for me to make that change. And for people who want to support, family members, friends, people around them who are queer, I will say just in the same way, don't stress about it too much. Like everyone's just trying to figure things out on their own. And sometimes all they need is some encouragement, knowing that they can trust you to talk about it, it doesn't have to, some of it's permanent, but some of it isn't. And you just gotta like kind of accept and trust that people know themselves and are figuring these things out. So you just gotta be kind, you just gotta be supportive, and yeah, like trust the process, essentially. Everyone's figuring themselves out in other ways, even if it's not their queerness. And I think we all just have to be kind to each other while we figure these all out throughout our lives.
So as well, your career covers a wide range, I would say, of creative fields like writing, animation, and audio drama production. How have these experiences, as well as your identity, shaped your storytelling approach?
I would say that my identity and my storytelling approach are very deeply intertwined because I often enjoy and I push forward writing queer Filipino works. That's kind of the niche that I found myself in, and it's not that I've pigeonholed myself, it's more that it is what I am comfortable with and it's what I'm happy to share. Because I feel like this is a little bit unique in the space, in the space of storytelling, and I find it exciting because even in this little niche, there are so many diverse stories. There are so many people I've met who have made fantastic stories in comics, in audio drama, in writing, in all that. And so I think as I follow this thread and meet all these wonderful people, I am just so happy to share my own story while also, enjoying theirs. And that is just like it's such a blessing for me to be able to pursue that as a little bit of a career, but mostly as my passion and as my way of expressing myself.
That is totally something to be like proud of, and like you've accomplished so much, like genuinely, like I think we're all very inspired by you.
Thank you, I appreciate that, thank you.
And wait, we can't forget about all this lovely artwork. We have your books.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, so those are by different amazing artists that I've met over the many years. These are all characters in the podcast. Despite what some of it may look like, the podcast is quite scary, actually. But it is full of like a lot of different really cool emotional beats, a lot of really cool characters. That's why a lot of the art is of the characters. And you can find my podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. And even though podcasting is about, and audio drama is about telling a story without visuals, I'm also an artist, so I really like visuals. So I got this art commissioned for the different characters that we have in our podcast. And you can find it wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And I can also show you like a little bit of these comics if you.
Sure. Of course.
Yeah. So of all these comics, the three of them are the anthologies, the monster anthologies. This is how I reflect kind of queerness and Filipino mythology, which is a thing that I adore. I'm a big fan of Filipino mythology. I'm a big fan of all the different monsters in that. I don't know how much you know, but there's the manananggal that splits herself in half, or there's the sigbin, there's the shokoy, all kinds of different Filipino mythological creatures. And I decided, let's do some cute love stories with them. Because as was in my intro, I love mixing genres, and I love mixing horror with romance, and sometimes not in a horrifying way at all, just in a sweet way. And all of these are queer stories. And the last comic, which is a little bit different from the rest, is the Aswangat Verdugo comic. This one was a standalone. It is a political horror comic, including superheroes and supernatural elements. It was written as a result of the certain administration that I left the country from. And that's my way of expressing certain feelings about the real world, but in a fictional setting. And that's kind of a lot of my work. Like I try to express feelings that I have about the real world in a fictional setting where people can understand it without being exposed to kind of how tough it is in the real world. And yeah, that's why I tell the stories. And I hope you all enjoy them. These ones I sell digitally online, but we are doing a Kickstarter, and I also sell them at little conventions and little table markets here and there. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Motzie, for all your honest insights. I think we're all very intrigued about audio dramas now that we've started to learn a little more about them. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm happy to know that people are excited and like interested in that sort of thing.
However, I do have to say, we do have to go on break. But when we get back, we'll be diving super deep into this and we'll be giving this a try ourselves. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for our audio drama tryout here at Epic Gen Table Talk. Our guest, Motzie, is still here, and we are so excited to learn from her and explore the world of audio drama creation. Motzie, do you want to start us off?
Absolutely. So I brought a script from one of our older episodes. It is a little bit of a horror script, so get ready to be spooked. We are playing an evil doll has trapped a bunch of partygoers in a basement and is now going to use her magic powers to murder them one by one.
Oh, okay.
So, we'll have fun with this one. Lots of, I know, right? Lots of
Nice romance.
Exactly, that's the romance part. And we'll be playing different characters. I will play the character I always play, which is Mary. Lori, you'll play Lori, as you said, and you will be playing Abe, who is Mary's friend, and then we have the partygoers 1 to 5 because we have a lot of characters. You'll be playing partygoers 1 to 5, and you'll be playing partygoers 6 to 9.
Partygoers.
Yeah. Party people. So we can begin with the Lori character. Basically, she has just woken up and she is not very happy. I mean, she's having a good time. She's just not a good person. Let's just go there. Okay, go ahead.
How strange. He told me there would only be one man. The one who would come visit me, but there are so many of you. Is this a game then?
Mary?
Who are you?
It's a doll. It can't.
Lori. My name is Lori.
Whoa.
From Hyde?
From Hyde.
Yes, Lori from Hyde.
No worries.
Wait, is she part of the show too?
You think she vomited on cue?
Is it you then? Did you wake me up?
I don't know. I don't know what woke you up. But I remember someone told me your story. Told me about your teacher, Drosselmeyer.
Ah, my teacher. My doctor, my savior. Monarch regent of my royal land across the rainbow. I dream of them when I sleep. I imagine they're still with me, but that's impossible. They died. Their minds turned to soup.
You died too.
True, but I didn't die like the way they said. My mind was kept intact. It wasn't by choice, I assure you. The Shadow Man, the Faceless King's Knight, slit my throat, you see. It's hard to do a spell proper when you're drowning in your own blood. That hurt. I never thought death could hurt so much.
What the?
Then why are you here now? Are you trapped?
Yes.
I can free you.
Free me? I don't want to be freed. Not until I fulfill my wish and his plan.
Whose plan? The red hand above you?
He said when next I woke, I could kill the Faceless One. The king whose knights killed me. For only the Faceless One's magic could waken me. So I ask again, which one is it? Which of you?
You're talking about the benefactor. If he was here, I'd know, but he isn't. His magic isn't anywhere near here. I don't know what woke you up, but please, let us go, and I can help you find him. Help you stop from hurting anyone else.
Oh, so you are a goodly witch. Here in my castle, lending me aid.
Yes. I just want to help.
I don't know Tchaikovsky.
No worries, go ahead.
This has to be scripted.
Mary, what's happening?
Oh, goodly witch. I'm sorry. I don't believe you.
The next part says, the sound of something crumbling, the floor falling away. Everyone screams as they're plunged into nothingness. And then Mayan, tulungan mo kaming lumipad sa simoy ng hangin ng iyong pakpak. Mary, grab on! And then we go into the next scene. Is everyone okay?
How did you do that? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
We didn't agree to this. This has got to be illegal. Illegal? It's impossible. We just dropped 100 feet from a basement. Did they drug us?
How did we get outside? Are we in the woods?
We have to get out of here.
No. God, no. I tried to reach him. He couldn't grab on.
I'm sorry.
What's going on? What the hell is going on?
Come on, we have to go.
No, no!
Hey! Calm down.
Leave me alone!
We have to go. Now.
Come on, get up.
No.
Hey, lady, do you know what's going on?
No, not entirely. But if you all stay close and follow my lead, I can protect you.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. Shut up.
Abe? Abe? Hey, Abe?
Mary? Mary, where are you?
Abe, I'm right here. Hey.
It's so dark. I can't see. It's so dark.
Take my hand.
My phone light's working. Should I?
I got it. Come on, everyone.
What?
We'll be back for them. First, I need to get you all out of here.
Wherever the hell here is.
Hey, Abe,
It's so dark.
stay with me. Don't let go, okay?
I won't.
And the last line.
1.
And that's it. That's the scene. So I don't know how much you understood of that, but I think we did explain the bit where everyone was falling. So yeah, that's kind of like how a recording would go. They're usually not that many people, but it's super fun. I put in the characterization lines, like the little descriptions that I think help guide you in your like acting. I try to put those in so that there's guidance, because sometimes you just get the lines, you don't understand exactly what the emotion's meant to be. So you all did an amazing job, by the way. This was really cool. Kudos to all of you and your acting skills. So very convincing, very cool. I see it unironically. And yeah, so that's kind of how it goes. And then whenever I want to like do a retake, I would like either stop them or I would let them go through, and then I would say, let's repeat this line. You know, let's do one of these lines again. But I try to go over the context of each character with my actors, like beforehand, so that we can get a little bit of a little bit more guidance and a little bit more like knowledge of what the character will be. And I would love to know what you all thought of that.
I feel like the expressions were showing in my face, because natural habit from acting, you got to show the expressions. I was trying to just go it through my voice instead, but you know, that was really fun. I think the acting came out.
Yeah, I think like that's part of it. Like even if you don't necessarily need to express it on your face, that helps a lot. Like it kind of puts you in that feeling. So even with audio drama actors and voice actors, it's like, especially if you watch those videos of voice actors doing their thing, you'll see that they're fully like emoting.
Like so in character.
They're putting their entire body into it.
It's like method acting. They do it behind the scenes too.
Yeah, exactly. Because that helps. That really helps. For me, I have experience with just sitting still and doing the voices because of like a long animation career. But honestly, as long as like you get the emotions out, you can act however you want. And the nice thing is nobody's looking at you. So even if the way you act is like, you're not sure if it like shows, you will hear it in the voice. And that's always like a great thing about audio drama. And then after that, we edit the lines, you know, basically the same, other than like the visual aspect. everything is basically the same. We edit it down, we add sound effects to make it sound more in line with the characters. We put some sound effects of the everything crumbling, and that's kind of how it goes. Sometimes we do our own sound effects, and sometimes we get it from a really cool site that gives us free sound effects, and that's where we get them from.
Do you ever show the behind the scenes of making it online?
Sometimes we do. Not all the time, because we're not so huge that people are like clamoring for behind the scenes.
What's it like?
But it is very much, we do show, like, we share outtakes with our patrons. We share stuff like that. Sometimes we do, we show the Zoom call or non-Zoom group call that we do, just for people who are like interested in the cast and voice actors. But for the most part, it's just one-on-one, and then we cut it all together later. So I'm just directing all of it, directing different people at different times based on their schedules.
Well, that was really cool. Thank you so much, Motzie, for sharing your talent and coming to chat with us. And to our viewers, remember to stay true to yourselves and respect other people's journeys. Join us next time for more inspiring talks here on Epic Gen Table Talk.